Welcome to the musical practice workshop. We have been working with reharmonization of approach notes that resolve on target chord tones or target extension or tension tones or notes. I promised you that I would cover double chromatic reharmonization. Double chromatic reharmonization. We have talked about single chromatic reharmonization of approach notes on in one of my previous videos on the subject. But I promised you that I was going to go over double chromatic approach, double chromatic reharmonization. That means before you resolve to the target chord tone or one of its tensions, one of its extensions, you play two chromatic notes. Okay, double chromatic as opposed to single chromatic resolution. So let me give you just a simple example. If I play G, the G note, okay, let's say let me play F, okay, F, G, and I play G sharp, from G to G sharp. That is a chromatic movement. A chromatic movement. Okay? So if I'm going to reharmonize G, in this case it's going to be whatever chord I'm going to build on the melody note. G is going to be a diatonic chord, because G is diatonic to the C major scale, but G sharp is not diatonic to the C major scale, so I'm going to have to play some kind of G sharp chord. Okay, so that will be single chromatic movement. Okay, G to G sharp. But if I continue and play A, which is half step below, well, half step above, which is half step above G sharp. So I would be, if I do that, that is another chromatic movement from G sharp to A, or A flat to A. So from G to A sharp, which is A flat, and up to A, natural A, that's a double chromatic move. Okay, that is very simple. Okay, now it is still approach note resolving on target note or target chord. Okay, so the focus is always to reharmonize the melody notes, the approach melody notes. The when it comes to the diatonic notes, it's easy to reharmonize. Okay, below those below diatonic melody notes. Okay, stuff like that's diatonic. Okay, this movement is a diatonic movement. Diatonic movement. Okay, so I'm not going to cover diatonic diatonic reharmonization. That is very simple. Okay, one diatonic note. Okay, resolve on another. Well, yeah, another. Well, a step. One step. Okay, one diatonic note moves one step up or down to another diatonic note. So that's easy. So no need for me to cover diatonic reharmonization. Okay. So now we're going to. So I just demonstrated to you what is a double. What is a double chromatic reharmonization? Double chromatic approach is when, okay, okay, um, simply stated, um, it is when two notes of short and equal duration, okay, approach a chord tone a or a tension target note by consecutive half steps in the same direction as the melody. Okay, so that's what we call chromatic approach. You have your chord tone that you're going to resolve on chromatically, double chromatically. Okay, so that means you have two consecutive half step before you resolve on the target chord note in question, in play. So the example was, okay, from G to G sharp, one half step, and when you resolve on A, which is a chord, well, it is not a chord tone in this case, but it is an extension of the in the key of C. That's an extension. So you can, okay, you can play that. It is considered in this case as a chord tone because it is an extension of, it's a 13, so that is an extension of 6. Okay, so from G, single chromatic, and from G sharp to A, that's another half step, double chromatic. Now, if you, let's say you're playing G dominant 7, for example, like you don't have to play it in root position. So you can play, let's see, this is B, okay, that's a third in the G dominant 7th chord. This is E. That's the 5th in the G dominant 7th chord. Okay, you play that. This is F. F, that's the flat 7th in the G dominant 7th chord, and then finally you have the G root. So that is a that's the first inversion of the G dominant 7th chord. Okay, now let's say from the G. So okay, all right, we can do it. We can try. Let's try that. Let's try let us try the double chromatic movement from the G dominant 7th chord right here. Since G right here that I played earlier is the lead voice in the G dominant 7th chord. So we're going to move from G using G dominant 7th chord, and we're gonna play G sharp. So we're gonna have to reharmonize on this, on the G sharp. Okay, so that chord is going to be non-diatonic to the C major scale because it's going to be built on G sharp. G sharp is not diatonic to the C major scale. So there's going to be a chord play under G sharp, and then we're going to resolve on the tension A. So we're going to try that, okay? If I make a mistake, then we will go back and try again until we get it right. So, okay. All right, let's see. All right, this is the G dominant 7th. Okay. G and then a whole step or two half steps above G, that's A. Okay, so now in that case let's try some kind of diatonic movement, moving from G to A. So we're going to play G dominant 7th and then A dominant 7th. Let's try that to see if it will work. Alright, this is G dominant 7th, first inversion with G as the voice, as the lead voice. Remember our goal is to resolve by two consecutive chromatic movements to A. Okay, so we go. This is G dominant 7. Okay. Okay, now let's move to A dominant 7. Okay. Okay. See? Okay. I did something that I did not intend to do, but we still can make it work. Okay. The example that I gave you earlier, it was from G up to A. But now since I played A dominant 7th, okay, Now I'm gonna have to play the chromatic. I'm gonna have to do the double chromatic resolution descending to G, and then maybe I can try to go back to A. Okay, so let's. Okay, now G dominant 7, A dominant 7. Okay, now let's play. We're going to play. We're going to play. Okay, let me spell out the notes I'm playing now in the using playing C E dominant 7. I got the A, I got the G, which is the flat 7, and I got the E, okay, and then which is the 5th, and I got this C sharp, which is the 3rd. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower each one of those notes half step, okay, to play the first chromatic approach. Okay, there you go. G, lower. We're gonna lower G half step. Okay, no, not G, A. We got A. Lower A half step. We got A flat. Now we got D. Lower D half step. Now we have D flat. And then now we have E. Lower E half step. Then we have E flat. And then we have let's see, we have C sharp. Now we have C sharp. We're going to lower C sharp half step. We got natural C now. So what we did, the first chromatic movement, we play each note in the A dominant 7 chord. We lower each note half step. Okay. Okay. So what chord did we get? Okay. We get A flat dominant 7th. Okay. And now what we're going to do, we're going to lower each note in the chord A flat dominant 7th half step in order to play our other chromatic movement. Okay, so we got A flat. Okay, we got A flat. Now we're gonna have G. We lower A flat half step. We got G. Now we got hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, that we had. Okay, we play. I gotta make sure I'm doing it right. So what we had. Okay, we had this, and then now we have this. Okay, now we're gonna lower each note half step. Okay, so it's gonna be this one. Okay. Okay. Now we have G dominant 7th. Okay. Okay. Let me try it again. Okay. So this is A dominant 7. First chromatic move. Down. Now we have A flat dominant 7th. One more chromatic move. Okay. And now we have G dominant 7th. Okay, now Let's try to go up. G dominant 7. Each note play half step up. We back to G sharp dominant 7 or A flat dominant 7. And then now each note half step up from A flat dominant 7th. Okay, and then we back to A dominant 7th. That's it. That's what double chromatic is. Okay. But before I close, remember we went in my previous 2 videos on the subject. We went over dominant reharmonization of the approach notes, non-chord notes. We went over parallel reharmonization and chromatic reharmonization. And now we just covered double chromatic reharmonization. So, okay, so we're done. Okay, stay safe.